I experienced racism at Bryant University, or I experienced racism at my primarily white institution in California, and I never said anything. And these were people that were grown adults, 30, 40, 50 years old, still thinking about the racist incident that they experienced decades ago, and they wish they said something.
Yeah.
And that, in that moment, it showed me how powerful your voice can be. And more and more teachers started talking about it. Students were demanding that change would happen. And it just became a really, really tense environment on campus. And long story short, we had a president of our university. He was there for 20 years. He ultimately wrote an apology statement, decided to apologize, and ultimately decided to step down. But before he stepped down, he made a commitment to make a pretty significant financial investment into the Center of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, acknowledging that we had more that we could do, and really just acknowledge that the school in that moment was wrong for trying to silence me. And I'm thankful that I had a support system, people in my life that reminded me of my First Amendment rights, and to do something that often young Black men choose not to do, which is to speak up, because we're supposed to be tough and we're supposed to brush it off. Like, this is some regular crap that happens every day. But what I tell anyone that's listening to this podcast is use your voice, because I truly believe that in that moment, it was a learning lesson for many other people. Yeah. And I hope that lesson and some of the messages that I still get to this day about that situation really inspired people to do things in their own lives, which I'm incredibly proud of.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about that situation in general. From the point of, like, one, I'm glad you did stand up for yourself and made it a thing, because I think a lot more people need to stand up for themselves when it comes to those things. Because we've had conversations on our podcast about whether you should react to people calling you the N-word or not, depending on what circumstance you are. And, like, I think a scenario like that specifically, you did the right thing. But my first reaction was, like, when you went to I think it was the administrator's office, and they said, "Oh, Martin Luther King did an X, Y, and Z." Like, I feel like that would have made me feel some type of way. Like, how do you know what he would have done in that situation, X, Y, and Z? Like, when it comes to that, when they gave you that responses as opposed to, like, actually trying to help you, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I was the one that was doing something terrible.
Yeah.
And that this was making that person's life unsafe.
Yeah.
And that wasn't true. It was a bad mark on the university, and they just wanted it to stop.
Yeah.
So they would do whatever it takes, including manipulation.
Yeah.
And midnight, visits from the local campus security.
Yeah.
To get me to take it down. I thought that it did make me feel some type of way. It made me angry, but that in that moment was what made me write the next letter.
Right.
So it absolutely made me feel like, wow, the audacity that they have to really try to go in this direction. Luckily, I was a senior in college at this point, much more mature than I was in high school.
Yeah.
But on your point of, like, how we should react, I don't think that the right thing to do in that moment was to, like, go nuclear and to, like, spaz on everybody.
Yeah.
But it was to be strategic and say, what can I do to actually instrument change? What I actually want is change.
Yeah.
So how can I deliver on that? And I think that's a larger conversation that is happening, that I see that's happening across the country. It's like, do we want to actually change the policy, or do we want to just be mad about it online?
Right.
Pick what you want to do. I'm someone that I choose to try to strategize, organize, and mobilize to be the change that I want to see in the world.